Now, I was reading this on, I think on some certain websites, I forget right now, in reference to this. And it says that the curing time will start within an hour after you finish applying. So, I got a lot to work here. There we go. So I guess this did pretty well. It's very soft. It's not like the Mr. Putty product that, not Mr. Putty, excuse me, was it Mighty Putty, which I showed a while back, that it was tough as nails, but it's designed for like harder substance. This one is softer, so it's easy to mold, and I'm already starting to feel the stickiness. So there's one thing that I need that I should have prepared, and right now I don't see within arm's length because of the stickiness, so give me a second here. Okay, I found this little plastic bag here so I can put the putty there, and then I want to cut portions of it, where is my, oh, here it is. Is that it? No, ain't it, but I'll use it anyway. So I guess I can use the knife, remove portions of it, and then begin applying it in specific parts of the kit, mainly the area that's going to cover the body. Actually, back there is not a good idea. There's something here. I'm starting to feel the stickiness of this. I didn't read anything about, I better use this. I didn't read anything if I have to wet my fingers or anything like that. I am no sculptor, that's for certain. But I remember as a kid working with Play-Doh. Who doesn't remember Play-Doh? And all the fun things that we worked on. When you're kids and you say, "Oh, I want to make this, I want to make that, I want to make a Tyrannosaurus Rex." Never thought I would be doing it at this age. Of course, this putty is, I'm going to have to get something to shove inside in the mouth, because it's starting to form too thickly. Like there. Plus, I'm having a difficult time making sure that it stays there because it actually sticks to my fingers pretty well. You know what? This should have been, gloves should have been used for this. I'm going to pause for a minute and then I'll get back to it and see what I can work with here. So after waiting a good day for the, actually it took maybe less time, but about maybe 4 or 5 hours until the putty dried, this is the result that I got. At first, when I was doing the head, I noticed it was a little too narrow, so I actually took more putty, put it around the mouth here and here, and then molded and shaped it a bit. Put another putty thing here so I can have that the famous brow and the spacing of the eyes, where I'm going to be making the eyes hopefully soon. Made some nostrils here using a standard tool, and this is what I got. The part of it I'm liking it. The other part is the fact that this is way too big, and I made a mistake. I should have actually shaved off the remaining part of the side plates if I remove it, if I decide to sand it down even further, you'll see the side plates exposed. I'm gonna see if I can try to sand it down a little bit more. Sanding it down is not that difficult, as a matter of fact. Just apply light pressure, of course. Shouldn't be that hard to do. And be careful where you can, where you're sanding. Epoxy putty is new to me, and learning this for the first time, I realized that I made a few mistakes here and there. But as I was making the mistakes, I was correcting it and understanding how this putty works. I believe that this putty is, of course, lacquer based. And I read it someplace that you can use lacquer to mold it in. Well, one thing I should have mentioned in my previous, in the past video, was as I was molding the putty, it was actually sticking to my my fingers really good. I should have used some sort of gloves. And I'm going to stress this. Please, children under 10, don't do this unless you have parent supervision. It is a very, very toxic material, and you should be very careful what you do with it. But going back to the lacquer, I decided to use a little bit of lacquer thinner and apply it to my fingers, and then allowed me to manipulate and mold the putty. I should have done that first, but I kind of did it kind of late and last. A little bit of putty right now really wouldn't matter, but because since this is hardened already, I'm only touching the surface, which will probably allow me to sand it down. And of course, I can see where I'm going to sand this thing down a bit. Yeah, this is a lot of sanding and a lot of detailing. I'm going to tell you this, guys. It's been I've actually advanced a little bit further than normal because I did the other parts, and I wanted to share this with you. So this is the head. This is the neck joint that connects to the body, which of course I put putty around all this and this. Now this one I had to put an extra couple of layers of putty so that way it strengthens the spine. Then using the sanding sticks, or the filing sticks, excuse me, and of course a hobby knife, I began to shave off areas so that way the actual spine has that sharpness look to it, kind of like what we saw in the last video. Then I'll just apply a little bit here. It's not going to melt on my fingers if I apply a putty on this. It just allows me to look at it and see how it looks. I had to put some here, as you could see, and then I had to clean it up a bit because it doesn't. This one doesn't seem to go in all the way, and I have a distinct feeling that I'm going to have to glue it. So this is what it looks like. Maybe it's a little too much, but I gotta put more putty on this one and mold it a bit more so it goes well. So this is the neck collar. Here's the body. And as you can see, this came out very well. Look at that. Very well. Now you'll notice there's a lot of gaps and things like that, and that I'm going to be doing again. I'm going to mold it up a bit. But the gaps, here's my theory, and here's what I think I'm going to do to actually cover up the remaining parts of this kit. Like I did with the putty on the camphor, I'm going to apply a large amount of putty on this dish, a little bit of thinner, make it into a little paste, and then apply it on the entire part of the kit, giving it another layer of texture on it, and also filling in all those gaps. That is the thought that I was thinking of doing. It also helps me cover up some of the holes because I don't feel like doing more putty and then sanding it down again. I am going to continue sanding it down so that way it's nice and flush. This is an exhausting part because then you want to get to everything. So this is how it would look like this. You see? Now, I'm not going to assemble this yet. I'm going to assemble it later, but I want to show you more. For starters, it is the other part that I work on was the tail. And I put layers of those plot plates here that I think I overestimated, and I actually put a little bit too much on it. I'm trying to see if I'm going to sand it down a bit more, but as the tail continues, you see here there's more exposed parts here, which I think I'm going to have to use the technique that I was mentioning and cover the whole thing like this. But it is turnable, as you can see, up to a certain degree. The only problem is that this tail tends to come out really a lot, so I may have to glue this part to this and keep it there. I have to put putty in the bottom of these three. I haven't done it yet, but I had to also glue them because they wouldn't stay on. So this one's taken care of. The other part is the lower part of the body, this. And this one I had to sand down. I put too much on this, so I'm still scraping and sanding down on this, but I'm going to end up maybe removing some more parts. I think I may have to apply a thin layer of putty, or I just may have to use the other part as well. The inside of the part has to be painted. I didn't do this one. I think I'm going to do the same thing with the Tamiya putty and cover it up, and then this will be all sealed up like that. Now the leg. This one, I really liked how it came out. Remember I said that Godzilla had 3 toes. I thought he had 4 toes. In reality, he had 3. This is what I did. Now the foot is actually 2 feet in 1. So I had to put 2 putties to the side and make a little, twisty thing. And then carved it down like if it were nails. And then I did another one over this and covered it down like that, so it looks like that. And then the heel I put a large amount, so that way it conforms. It's even out. And then I apply a lot of putty around. Well, first I began up here first, and as you can see, it's a lot more smoother. This is when I began to realize that if I applied the putty on it and then wet my fingers with the thinner, I can mold it and shape it pretty well. And it came out pretty good. As you can see, I did it over here. So once I'm done with sanding the tail and the spine, I'm going to work on this and sand this down and then shape it so that way it looks, it looks like the actual feet and nails. So that's fine. The next thing was, of course, the arms. And the arms, I had a bit of trouble. I'm going to have to probably apply another layer of putty. I haven't done a lot yet. I haven't done any around here because I'm afraid that if I put here, it's going to restrict the arm. I don't want the arm to be restricted, so like I said before with the Tamiya putty, I may apply an ample amount around all this so that it's it could at least move around. I'll probably put putty, the epoxy putty on the back part of the hand. The nails and the fingers will be left alone because those I'm gonna paint up to here white because he has white fingernails. And then I put a lot of putty here, which of course needs to be sanded down. Okay, I have a lot of putty shards all over this place, and it's a big mess. In my next video, hopefully I can show you the final results of what the kit looks like before painting. Alright, so Stay tuned for my next video.